Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Hello, people. How's it going? We're back with the old Dinder.
Mifflin.
Dinder. Last session, you guys weren't yourselves for the most part. You were fighting in a big war because you guys have freed Northguard. That's it. Orcs and goblins and the armies of the north have been driven back to whence they came. And you've sort of saved the country, sort of. I think. Yeah, not even sort of. You kind of did. Good job, guys. Good job with that one. It started obviously with the sort of distraction team going in, making a big boom. Then the stealth team going in, still making a big boom, even though it was called the stealth team, but whatever. And then
I know what you mean.
Finally, the war. You guys finished off the war. You all met back up. Oramis got his new boat. You met back up with Daviak. And, Luke, you should see in your inventory some new stuff. There's some new stuff. So first of all, the Dragon's Revenge has been upgraded quite a bit. So it now has 100 hit points with an AC of 14.
What was the hit points before?
75.
Oh, okay.
You now have cannons.
I'm just looking at the crew.
Ballista. Yes, I did write a little bit about the crew, just for sort of each person to.
Can you put what's if you click on it? Can you put it in the Roll20 chat?
I can copy and paste it.
Depending on how Ben's put it in, you might
I can't remember where I put it.
It's in the bio of the Dragon's Revenge.
Yeah, that's the.
I mean, there is also the ship's crew.
That's the crew. I just wanted to give them each a little bit. Obviously, when you get to much bigger crews, so like obviously, if one day you end up like having a friggin' like frigate or some shit, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be doing that for like 200 people. 200 people, more like 100, but whatever. I ain't doing that for like 100 people. But I thought, why have a small crew? Maybe might be good, and we'll get on to sort of things with the crew in a little bit, but that's just a couple of little bits for now, just in case
more on a personal level.
Yeah, and just in case a situation arises where you think, hey, maybe this person might be helpful. We'll figure out a situation like that in the future. Anyway,
Luke's gone.
He's back. He was so excited by the crew.
I was
I'm quite excited to have Mason Mount and Frank Lampard on the crew. I'm guessing it's who they're named after.
As well as Caspian, the Prince of Narnia.
Yeah. Indeed. And Walter Riley and Francis Drake.
Nice.
Or Nathan Drake, whoever you prefer.
I think I'd go with Francis for ships.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. Anyway, so I forgot to say, if you want these guys as your crew, you have to pay them each 10 gold as a starter's fee. So take 70 gold off whoever's paying them.
I mean, I'm not paying them. It's Oramis' crew.
It's Oramis' crew.
The boys, come on. Like if we go out for a meal, we split it evenly.
How's that group fun going that we were doing?
The group fund exists.
Yeah, I mean, once again, totally on board with Matt. This is Oramis's to pay.
Bunch of assholes. I've taken 70 gold off.
Why
cool.
70?
And obviously, because there's 7 of them, and they want 10
there's
gold
one
each.
more. There's only 6, but one more is joining. I'm waiting for Hattie to name them.
Right.
Well, yeah,
there we go.
Mason,
so we
Frank,
have
Walter,
nameless.
Drake, Caspian, Paco is only 6.
Yes. Doc learned to count.
Is he paying himself out of those wages? He's part of the company that is Oramis' ship.
Yes. No, I don't fucking know. Anyway, so your crew get on board. So we'll start the session with you guys. You guys have just spoken to Daviak. He goes off and sorts a couple of other things out. Is there anything else you would like to do in Northguard at the time being? Other than fire off the friggin' cannon.
It's a celebratory cannon fire.
21 gun salute to the fallen warriors.
No, to Oramis.
Oh, okay.
His successes in the field.
What did you do?
What did I do?
Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend.
What didn't I do?
Everything.
Liberated Northguard?
Single-handedly.
Almost.
Wasn't much help from Gylndan.
No.
What do you mean? I killed everything.
Yeah, I think because you drew so much attention to us, we had to kill everything.
Yeah, I don't see what your point is here.
To be fair, with the javelin throwing from Mittens, there wasn't much help from him either.
Hey, I had a great barrel idea. And I saved a man.
I mean, without me, I think you couldn't have got anywhere near sneaking in. So
Hey, I've got a plus up.
Did any of your arrows hit?
I mean, but yeah, plus 19 does kind of help a little bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is true. Anyway,
Mazzy's giant fart cloud kept us all hidden.
anyway,
Sorry,
is there anything anyone wants to do in Northguard for the rest of the day?
Can Gylndan go up to Mittens and just kick him in the shins and then run off?
Roll to hit.
I'll throw the devil there.
Well, I'm safe then. That's perfect. No, that's not happening.
That's not happening. All right.
If you try to kick him, just like whack him on the back of the head with a paw.
Anyway, so you guys spend the rest of the day sort of milling around Northguard, getting a lot of things ready. You'll also notice the Dragon's Revenge has come with a couple of extra little things. So you now have some navigations tools and a fishing net, not just two fishing rods. These can obviously be used to navigation tools can be used if ever you get lost in certain situations. I might ask you to make a navigation tools check. None of you are proficient in it, so good luck with that one.
Sweet.
Chikara gets on board the Dragon's Revenge. It's a bit of a squeeze down in the bottom decks, but she's fine with it. Should be fine. She's got plenty of hay.
Nice.
The soldiers sort of say their thanks to you. A lot of them sort of come up with you, offer to get you drinks and things like that. And you spend one final day in the company of the soldiers before early the next morning you prepare to head out. So you guys can refill spell slots and health if you haven't done that to your characters already.
I'm also going to, whilst we're there, go buy some arrows.
Yep. I'll probably say because there's an army there now, you don't have to buy arrows. You can just add arrows to your add a bunch of arrows to your inventory.
Can I buy a bag of caltrops?
Can you buy a bag of caltrops? Well, at the minute the city.
Oh lordy!
At the minute, the city is in tatters, and there is no functional shops.
Is that anything the army would have?
Probably not. There will be an opportunity for you to buy some caltrops, but
Ben's
I would say for the time minute, they are ridiculous, man. They are ridiculous. Caltrops are, but no, obviously I would let you buy some caltrops. But in this sort of situation, there is no shops open at the minute. The city is in bloody ruins.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Damn, Sam.
I'm not going to take the 20. I didn't realise I'd rolled 2 backs.
Okay,
so I'll take the 1 and the 19.
1 and the 19. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's still decent.
Yeah.
You've got a choice to take out the 19, surely.
No, because I rolled that first.
Yeah. I'm not just messing with y'all.
Also, Oramis, you should notice that you now have something called ship scrap. This is basically the equivalent of a ship's healing potion.
Oh.
So at the minute, you can spend the total time of a short rest, so 1 hour, to expend one ship scrap and heal your ship somewhat. It's not by a lot, but you can heal your ship. If you were to hire someone who is proficient in carpenter's tools and things like that, then that might go up. Ship scrap can be obtained from harbour masters, from wrecks of old ships, and carpenters, and places where you would generally buy wood and nails, because that's pretty much all it is. It's just a way that you can...
Where's the ship scrap?
It should be in the Dragon's Revenge.
Okay, I
And
was looking on Oramis.
It's in the Dragon's Revenge. You currently have 3. It's just a way for you to heal your ship while you're out at sea. Yeah, it's not by much, but it'll do the trick.
What have you done with your old ship, Luke? Just out of interest.
Sorry?
What have you done with your old ship?
That's a good point, Ben. Can I sell my old ship?
Yeah, sure. You could. You could sell your old ship.
That's what I'm doing today. Oramis is selling my ship.
Yeah, sure. So
We can make an armada.
you bought that ship for like 900 gold.
Yeah.
What about
It's not in-
renting it?
It's not in the best shape.
Excuse me?
I mean,
You
That is the fastest ship in Ambyr.
last you left it off, it was on like 50 HP out of 75. So, I think I'll say you could probably sell it for like maybe like 500 gold. Some guy will
What
buy it
about
off
if I
you.
rent it out?
What do you mean rent it out? How are you going to rent it out?
Good point. I'll just sell it for 500 gold, stick 100 in the kitty for the group.
Cool.
Actually. What about 550? Roll persuasion.
Yeah, fuck it. Roll persuasion for 550.
Can I throw in my natural 1 hit? No, I'm joking.
500 it is.
Yeah, 500 it is.
Cool.
How do you have plus 12 on persuasion? Might I add? I know you had high persuasion, but I wasn't aware it was plus 12.
You get to double like a proficiency bonus on something.
Yeah, I had some.
He does, but that's on rogue level ups, not warlock level ups.
I think you should roll persuasion to see if you can fool the
That's a
DM.
very good way of dealing with it, Matt.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
give
it's
us
been
some
plus
persuasion
12
roll.
for a while.
Not plus 12, no, that's huge.
I think
No,
it was
yeah,
9. It was 9 for ages.
Not plus 12.
Could it be the multiclassing is not quite going through correctly?
Yeah, it is, because it says you're a rogue level 8, but you're not. And I don't know how to change it. I have no idea how to change it, or at least I'm trying to change it, and it's not working. Whatever. I'll sort that out later on. Anyway.
So, who's got the group fund?
I do.
I'll stick 100 gold in that.
I will, thank you.
And
Clanking around with a big bag of holding.
Actually,
I've also got your leather armor on the boat.
Cool. And with that, you obviously go to sleep, have some rest. You wake up in the morning. In the morning, it's quite lucky you're leaving this morning. A sort of light snow is suddenly hitting the area. Obviously, Northguard is slightly up north, so it is a little bit colder. But this morning it's particularly cold and quite windy. Oramis, you think probably a good day to sort of truly test the sails of this new ship, see how it fares on the ship, and you get going. Where were you guys heading?
That city. About that ship that we saw. That was it.
White Parish. Yes, the elven city of White Parish. Cool. Cool. So then, if Oramis could roll me a thingy, water vehicles check. Everyone else roll me a survival check. and Oramis, can you roll me a dexterity check for your crew?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my lord, that's a pretty good bunch of rolls.
And that's the crew.
What did I say the DC was? I said the DC was something.
Oh, the boys are on it today. They're raring to go.
It's that new job feeling. They're so keen to make an impression.
They want to impress the captain.
Alright. 2 fails and 3 passes. Not bad.
I rolled my first water vehicles check, by the way, was 25.
Yeah, you passed.
Just
Doc
I'm
Okay,
guessing
cool.
it was Doc and I that failed.
Yeah, Doc and
Okay.
Gylndan failed.
Cool.
You have to remember, the tower has now been up for quite a while. There is a lot of shit flying around. Things are pretty dangerous. Like now, it's starting to affect the water. Obviously, those spine devils and things with wings can go around and fly wherever the hell they want. Some might have a particular affinity to water, so they might, be heading in that sort of direction. And it's a bit rough, rough and tumble place. So with that, you set off in the early morning. You begin to set off. Davyak makes sure to say his goodbyes. He tells you, obviously, if you ever need anything, just send him a message. He'll be there if and when he can. And you set off. The morning, the winds are with you, definitely with you, as you travel, and the crew is in particularly high spirits. Obviously, spending yesterday, probably a lot of yesterday, hearing about a lot of different things you guys have done. They probably would be quite happy, like, working with you now, hearing all the good that you've done for the community, good that you've done for Ambyr as a whole. Maybe some people might have heard of, some of the soldiers might have heard of your exploits on Lone Hill. Maybe even words reached out from Inksworth, how you helped out there. So they're feeling good. They're feeling pretty good. They are trying to sort of converse with you a little bit. They get to know you, so you guys would learn all the little list of stuff I put in with Doc. What was his name? The guy Walter is particularly interested in you for sort of learning about Apollo, learning about sort of the different ways you can worship Apollo. It seems like his main, obviously, thing is Pelor, the main god in Ambyr, but he is a believer in sort of many gods and multiple gods, and is really interested to learn what he can. And Mason is very, very interested in you, Gylndan. He's particularly interested in sort of how you cast magic and the different little things that you can do with your magic. He sort of has this befounded look when you cast even the simplest of spells, because at the minute he can't even do anything. He's not a spellcaster, but he's always said, well, if I never took up sailing, I'd be in the college, I'd be doing this, I'd be doing that. But he's like a 30-year-old man now. It's a little bit late.
If it weren't for that knee injury, I'd have made it pro.
Yeah. And the day begins rolling along. The crew are sort of joshing around with each other a little bit on the boat, but getting nothing done. You can tell this is a pretty good set of guys. Pretty good set of guys in terms of they definitely know their stuff about the seas. They're following Oramis's orders to a dot. Especially with that, what was it, like 20 something, 19. So yeah, they are really doing well. And after a little while, one of them maybe starts humming a little bit. From that, another starts to like slow, just under his breath, start to sing a bit of a sea shanty. And after a couple of minutes, the whole boat almost erupts in song. Some song about windy weather and stormy weather, or some such. We weather when the wind blows, we're all together. But yeah, as you're traveling south, and sort of later on in the afternoon, you can see on the horizon a particularly dark cloud. You're not overly worried about this, Oramis. The boat is perfect. It is, it is working exactly how you would obviously want it to. The cannons are tied down particularly well. They have all been sort of polished and cleaned, ready for use. Each rope has been tied off perfectly, and the sails are pristine. You're feeling really, really good about this boat. And as you sort of head towards, I wouldn't really call it a storm. It's more of a lot of really, really high winds and a sort of light rain that racks against the side of the boat. And, you're feeling fairly confident. And with your water vehicles check that you got, which is a 17, yeah, you guys, with your water vehicles check and the check of the crew, they're feeling, you managed to get through it pretty fine. You're cresting over the waves and through the waves. You're sort of adapting to the different changes in the wind, which are mostly with you along the way, but some rogue winds coming from the east and west sort of try and maneuver the ship out of the way. But for the most part, you do pretty well. Everyone, maybe a perception check.
Oh dear. Luke, please.
1 sec, sorry.
You can also make one on behalf of the crew. That's just a base wisdom check.
Oh,
You did get the highest.
and the crew. What did you say it was? Base?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Oh no.
Oh no.
They're very into their sea shanty.
Yeah, the crew are particularly into their sea shanty. A lot of them finding it particularly, humorous, sort of screaming a sea shanty over the high winds that are blowing through, to the point where they can barely be heard. The rest of you are sort of watching the crew. Everyone sort of other than Oramis is sort of being very, very wary of the waves as they're sort of coming past. You guys are way too sort of focused on, like, I really hope Oramis knows what he's doing. Some of these waves are kind of high. But Oramis is looking around, and with a 14, you do notice something just out of the corner of your eye. You can see just a lot of sort of scrap wood. And from the scrap wood, you almost feel like you see just this sort of like hand just wave up and then dip under the water. And it's a lot of sort of, scrap wood about the place. This, you can't really see much other than just sort of like a hand or like half a figure or sort of the shoulder and arm of a figure sort of clutching onto some wood and trying to sort of wave or move or something. What would you like to do?
Should go and rescue them.
Shout man overboard.
It's only you that knows what's going on, Luke. We have no idea.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
There's a man overboard. Let's go pick him up.
Yeah. How are you going to get this man? So you sort of careen your ship over towards him.
Turn the ship over towards him, pull the sails down so we drift, and I'm going to sling some rope into the sea for him to grab onto.
Yeah. The men are, like I said, sort of quick as attack, on with your commands. They sort of, they furl back up the sails, folding them back up. You chuck down some rope, and though you can now more clearly see a very, very pale, like 40s, 50s-year-old human in the water, he doesn't reach for the rope.
Oh dear.
Who fancies a swim?
Not really the weather to get into a little rowboat and get him, is it?
I mean, by now,
it is
you've just
a
got
human life. You only go
like, right next to the boat.
How'd I get you for watching a child get sacrificed to a god?
Yeah, I mean, this could be the same child, just growing up very quickly.
Does he look alive?
Make me a perception check. Another perception check. Also, who's got some, like...
I've got some wave sounds on in the background. Is that okay?
Right. Yeah.
If it's your turn, I can turn them off.
That's
So, from what you can tell, he's not moving. So
how steep is the side of the boat, Ben?
It's not too far. You would have to sort of climb down somewhat. You don't actually have any rowboats on board, like small dinghies or rowboats on board. So you would somewhat have to climb down. But from the water's bottom and the deck, you can probably assume it's like a person in height.
That's
like
it.
Six,
And you
7
said
foot in height.
You said it's quieted down a little bit on the sea.
No, the sea is still quite windy. Sea is still very,
we're
very
right
windy.
up against
Waves are sort of pushing against the boat. The longer you guys wait, the more this sort of body is just being like pushed
Can
against
you-
the side of the
I'll,
boat.
Is it definitely just one
climb
body? By the way, Ben.
Yeah,
You're not
as
seeing
far as-
any other rubble or anything else.
As far as you can see, it is just one body on this sort of long plank of wood with a couple straying around him.
I mean, he
More or
could have
less.
just passed out from exhaustion, so I feel.
Yeah, I've got to go.
yes.
If you're going to hop in, Oramis, why don't we tie a rope around your waist in case you get into
Yeah,
trouble?
yeah. No, use the rope that I've thrown in, tie that around me, and I'll sort of abseil down into the water.
Yeah, all right. Roll me a. Is everyone sort of like held onto this? Held onto this rope.
Bloody hope so. Or
Well,
at least
the whole
nearby.
crew.
Okay. If the whole crew
Well,
is held onto this boat, Oramis,
if the whole
roll
crew's
me-
onto the boat, I'm going to just go be hold onto the wheel of the boat just to make sure we don't
Good
drift.
lad. Good lad.
Good lad.
good lad.
I mean,
all right.
Frank was on that, but it's fine.
Oh well, I mean, I didn't hear your command, Captain Oramis.
Sorry, you're right.
Roll me then, Luke, an athletics check with advantage. Because obviously everyone else is held onto the side of this thing. It's just sort of you clambering down the side. This is also to grab him and pick him up as well. Yeah, with advantage, you very, very easily and very, very swiftly sort of almost like leap off the side of the boat. Everyone else hold you. They're like, oh shit! But they do manage to sort of catch you and hold on to you. You sort of drop down, grab the guy by the arm, lower yourself a little bit into the water. You sort of have to get him out. The water is freezing cold, and you do get sort of the tail and the ends of your coat a little bit wet. But you manage to pull him sort of over your shoulder, and everyone else is. I mean, there's a full crew of people pulling a thing. I won't make you roll for that. It's, everyone else manages to pull you up with this guy on your shoulder, perfectly fine. You get on top of the deck, and you sort of, place this man down now on the thing of the deck. The rest of the crew are now very, very aware that it's still really windy. There's still waves going everywhere. They're waiting on your call, Oramis, but they are getting prepared to move or getting prepared to sort of keep the ship steady. What would you guys like to do?
Can
This
I
guy
make
is sort
some
of like
medicine check over this guy? Or I can actually
yeah.
touch him and see.
Make a medicine check.
Oh,
22, yeah. So 22, you can tell he is still alive. You place now that you are a bit more up close, the rain isn't sort of getting sort of over your eyes and things. You can sort of place your ear to his chest, and you can hear his heartbeat. It's beating very, very fast. This guy is really, really cold though, freezing cold. He's like shivering, but he's not conscious.
Do we get him
And he's
below deck quick?
And he's also not breathing.
Okay, well, I will give him a little healing word, and then give a couple of orders to find some blankets and things like that for him.
sorry.
Okay.
You don't give orders.
I do when
I don't like
Crew,
him.
get some blankets for this man.
I like to imagine so Doc should be like, get some blankets, and Oramis is right there afterwards, a bit like Barbosa and Jack Sparrow.
Belay
in
that.
bit in Pirates. They go,
Belay that.
Get some blankets.
Oh, that's a very good healing word there.
That's a
Oh,
very, very good
wow.
healing word. The man suddenly sort of wakes up, but he's still not breathing.
Oh, he's got war in his lungs, isn't he?
I mean, can we perform CPR then?
Yeah, some CPR.
You can make me a medicine check.
Oh, is this guy even alive?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, he is now. So the man, you very, very sort of quickly get down. You start pushing his stomach. You turn him over, patting his back, making sure he's okay. And eventually, just this watery bile just sort of comes out of his mouth and sort of spreads along the deck of the ship. And it's And he does fall sort of down, very, very tired and still extremely cold on the side of the ship, shivering. He's back. He's back. He's back.
Who's back?
Sir, take some slow breaths. Take some slow breaths.
He's back.
Who's back?
Yes, who's back?
He looks up at you. You're going to say
Oramis, he's mid-dramatic reveal.
Sorry.
He looks back up at you with almost like the deadest eyes you've ever seen. He just stares. Hello, and black gale, the black gale, the black gale's back. And he just curls up into this ball, shivering and slamming his hand against the sort of deck of the boat, almost like in some sort of psychotic fit as he's going completely insane. Now, the name the Black Gale doesn't ring a bell to any of you. Any of you except for Oramis. This name hits you really quite hard. The last time you ever remember anything about this ship, about Hallowhand or anything, you think back a minute and you remember, you almost feel a sort of a sense of family, a sense of wholeness and love, but then suddenly your mind drifts back to a storm, and within that storm, a great big ship, 32 cannons on each side. You could have guessed at the time. You remember the loss that you felt that day, the loss of family. You remember trying so hard, the hardest you've ever tried in your life, to fight back against them coming, but it wasn't enough, not compared to him or his crew. You remember the devilish figure stood above you, a hand of pure ethereal white, striking you with his sword and throwing you off your own ship.
Fucking
bastard. And that is what you remember.
Anyone heard of this Hallowhand?
I know him.
Oh, is he a fellow to be feared?
Yes. The day I met him was the worst day of my life.
Oramis, if you fear him, then
I swore revenge.
I fear he may actually be someone to not trifle with.
He's very powerful, but he took something from me.
Oh, well, I guess now I know how it feels.
This guy killed my wife.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
But it's karma.
For some gems?
How did he kill your wife?
When he took my ship.
You want him to go into detail?
No, how does that happen? Tell me, Oramis. Why was he after you?
Ben, why was he after me?
So you recall to the gentleman while the crew prepares some blankets and takes the man below deck, that you remember a day where you and your wife were merely out on a bit of a voyage. You were at the time on a job. You had a small crew of men on a sloop you were particularly fond of, and very, very suddenly, almost abnormally suddenly, a storm rushed in. You don't really remember much after that. This storm was so violent and so vicious that you spent most of your time hurrying your wife below decks and you helping your men sort of prepare against the storm. But before you could even realize, behind this great huge wave was this almost ashen black wood ship. Remember it sailing towards you. Before you could barely draw your sword in preparation, their crew were already sort of leaping, sending over grappling hooks, leaping down overboard. And with the 60 or 70 men that was on that ship, your meager 15 couldn't do anything. They tied you up, they tied your wife up, and though you slew a fair few of their men that day, it wasn't enough. The captain came out. You remember him to be a tiefling. Remember him with this huge sort of grey beard. Like I said, this ethereal white hand that sort of glowed in the darkness of the storm. Remember him smiling at you, and almost as a thing of, well done, you actually managed to kill a bunch of my men, and this is quite a nice ship. So I won't kill you, but I'll kill her. And while tied up, he ordered his crew to slit your wife's throat.
That's rough.
There you go, boys.
Oh, Oramis, I'm sorry.
And then he threw you off the ship for good measure.
How long ago was that?
That was a while ago, before we met.
I should hope so. I don't know when you'd have done that. When you met that in an adventure.
I was about maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
6 years ago.
Well, he made a mistake not killing you, my friend, because we'll get him.
On that day, I swore I'd take my revenge. And get myself a bigger boat.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, you remember
In
that
comparison,
boat
Luke,
you had.
sorry, Oramis, how big was the boat that you had then to the boat we have now?
Very similar boat. This is obviously slightly newer, in maybe a bit better repair, but it's similar size.
Whereas their boat was, if you sort of think like a brig, so like a triple masted, not quite a man of war, not even quite a frigate, but sort of you think triple masted, 32 guns aside compared to your 2 guns aside. A very, very scary boat.
We have 3 cannons.
Yeah, it's 3.
Mazzy's right arm.
Let me just fire those cannonballs at my boat.
You need a slingshot.
I mean, Gylndan, you also have literally fireball.
Yeah, but it's nice to build other people up, isn't it?
I mean, you also have a blister at the front of your boat, so you'll be fine. Small one, but
It's pretty rough, Oramis. The loss of one's family is something one never recovers from.
Do you know the pain, my friend?
Not exactly, I know a similar thing.
What is this pain you feel?
It is a pain in my heart.
Can we ask this guy where he last saw the boat? The Black Hand, or whatever it was called.
the Black Gale was
The Black Gale, that was it. The Black
Cracking
Gale.
name, Ben.
Captain Hallowhand. The man was called. So you head down. You head sort of down at the bottom of the ship. The man has been given. A glass of water, a small bit of a hunk of bread and cheese from some of the stores that you have aboard the ship, and a bunch of blankets. And he's sat on one of the men's sort of hammocks that they've got, and he's recalling sort of the events. So very similar to your story. Like he was a trader from Titan, the much larger continent on the world, and he was coming from Titan to Ambyr. He's originally from Ambyr himself, and what happened was, all of a sudden, about a day or so ago, maybe 2 days ago, there was a storm. Very, very suddenly, just like that, there was suddenly a storm, and before him and his crew could react, his men were on them. And much like your boat, they blew up the ship and threw him off the side of the deck. Because he managed to take a couple of their men down with him.
Promise, I'm all for fulfilling your revenge, but it sounds a little bit like if we went chasing after that, we're a bit outgunned. What we need is a dragon.
That could work. Yeah. He'll also tell you that he overheard some of their men talking about the shattered coast.
Oh, that's
That seemed like where he was going in terms of like he overheard some of the men saying like, "Come on, we're late to the shattered coast" or something along those lines.
Can I command the crew to begin setting sail, like carrying on, gonna press on, waste no more time, we're going for the shattered coast.
well. I'm glad we discussed it as a group first. That's really good.
Captain
Oramis,
is
I don't
master of his ship.
exactly, and I don't want to speak against Oramis, but if you feel this is the best thing to do,
We do have several other things on the agenda.
where's the Shattered Coast?
Shattered Coast is almost exactly on the other side of Amber from you right now. So if I take you guys back to the main map, so that's the main map. So
Yeah, we got a
if
long
you
way to
guys
go to the Shattered
if you guys are right now about here, I can't click. If you guys are right now about here, the Shattered Coast is all the way over here.
I don't know. I guess we're not sailing around the north, are we?
Yeah, you can't sail around the north. That is an entirely frozen ocean. So you would have to go around the south, which you think would probably
at
take
least
you
a week.
That is more than a week. That is probably nearer to 2 weeks of a trip.
Can I rest a little hand on Oramis' shoulder and just say, I know you want this, but it might have to wait.
Fine, we'll carry on with our mission. But when we're done, you're all going to help me get my revenge.
Of course.
Storm off and brood at the front of the boat.
Fair enough.
As obviously, I'm just going to turn down and say, revenge is a sword with no hilt. You should be careful.
That was a sweet line. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you would like to do for the minute?
Get revenge for my murdered wife? That's not allowed.
Other than that, as you've all discussed,
How far away from White Parish?
you can make it to the White with the way you guys are going, you'll make it to White Parish by just after sundown.
Okay, I'll just crack on there, I think.
Yeah. So the man falls very, very quickly to sleep below decks. The crew start sort of muttering and chattering to themselves, sort of about rumors they've heard. Oh my god, I've heard he like took on a whole fleet by himself. I've heard his ship's like the fastest one in the ocean. It's a shadow that comes out of nowhere in the storm. I've heard that Hallowhand can tear people apart limb from limb just with his bare hand, with his ethereal hand, shit like that. You hear these sort of rumors surface, but around Oramis they are very, very tentative to speak out against it and just almost like pretend they're enjoying themselves now. The mood is definitely sort of gone down a little bit. But by the evening, in the next hour, you make it out of these sort of winds and the rains, and you're once again sort of on this still very, very windy but not very rainy ocean. The sun now just about peeking through the clouds, and after a beautiful sunset, within the hour, you make it to the docks of White Parish. You again see this sort of line of ships around around White Parish, and you guys make it there. I don't actually have a map for White Parish. I tried finding one, and I tried making one, but I'm not very good at making maps, it turns out, so
That's alright.
I'll find one eventually.
Pretty cool.
So, White Parish is a little bit different to every other city you guys have been to. It's very much in different style. So as you sort of go past the ships and make it to the dock, Oramis, you would definitely know this. Anyone else who's maybe been there will probably know. White Parish is one of those cities where they think they are the best people ever.
Paris.
Such as elves often do. Yeah, this is sort of like the Paris of this world. So White Parish is the second biggest city in Amber, second only to Hawksmoor. The capital is the third. It is a very, very decadent city. Even through the winter months and everything, there are flowers blooming all over the place. Much simpler architecture. If you sort of think Greek/Roman style, that sort of like high fantasy Greek and Roman styled city, where lots of sort of marble buildings and temples sprawled out everywhere. This city is one of the very few that believe that there are only 3 main gods. Usually it's 2, but they believe in Pelor, the sun, Frey, the moon, and Corellon, the star. Corellon is the god of elves. And though every other city in in Ambyr believes as Pelor as the main top dog of all the gods, these guys think that, yeah, cool, he's the father, but Corellon's the god of elves, and elves are clearly better at everything than everyone. So Corellon must be the best, and they mainly pray to him. By the time you get there, it is quite a somber evening. By now, news has spread that the war in the north is over, and many people are getting very, very excited, and a lot of preparation is being set up for their arrival back home. There is the streets are being lined with like particular flowers of red and gold to sort of celebrate their victories, as well as a lot of like white flowers and stuff to celebrate the empowerment of White Parish and the elves and things like that. A lot of sort of market stalls being put up for different things, with lots of different small like trinkets and things to commemorate the end of the war. And the city is sort of in somewhat jubilation, but it is obviously quite late, so it's mainly just like a lot of people getting drunk, being a bit rowdy. The people of the city this is one of the first cities you've been to where there is a main populace, and that is obviously elves. Whether it be drow, high elves, wood elves, whatever, you'll find most of them there. But that's not to say that there aren't other people there. You can see the occasional dwarf or human around, but it's a bit more rare. And you can tell an elf that lives in White Parish by just an elf that's visiting, because they wear these very, very fancy long sort of robes with these long sort of like scarves or togas around their sort of shoulders. Again, very, very Greek, very, very Roman sort of inspired kind of thing. You can tell the different families by the different decorations and things they have over this sort of shoulder scarf. You've arrived in White Parish. What would you like to do?
Find an inn.
Carry on brooding.
Are we in the shipyard, Ben?
You are now in the shipyard, the dockyard. Yeah, it's quite quiet now that it's really, really late, but there are lots of torches on around the place. It's a very, very colourful dockyard. You can tell all sorts of spices and all sorts of things are being sold here.
Is there like a shipmaster?
Yes, there is. There is a harbour master. He is stationed in the after you sort of arrive and you're looking around. You can see there is a sort of harbour master's office or quarters near sort of. So if you imagine the docks are sort of down here, up on a small hill up here, overlooking pretty much the whole docks is the harbour master's quarters.
Okay.
Where he lives and works.
Can we have a little? Well, just go and speak to him.
Yeah, of course. So you get off the ship. The men very, very quick to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to stay here. We have our own sort of things we'd like to do in and around the city." But yeah, it's cool. You guys go have fun. Figure out what you're doing. We'll be here when you get back.
Sorry, who's in charge of who? You guys go have fun.
You know what I mean. Very, very, very much. Like we're going to do our thing, but say the word. We'll be back. Yeah. And you quickly make it up these sort of marble steps up towards the quartermaster's office. Quartermaster's quarters. Harbour master's quarters. What the hell am I on about? The building is, again, a fairly simple sort of white stone building, almost like a cuboid, but around it are these sort of small columns with like a bit of a wooden sort of wooden and sort of silk cover over the front door. The door is made of wood, and there is quite a large. A light is on in this large sort of stained glass window on the front of the building with all these sort of images of the sea and the ocean and things like that there. What would you like to do?
So I'm going to go in.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer my hand to shake the Hellmaster's hand.
Yes.
And I'm going to say, "Good day, fellow." But there is a gold piece in my hand, Ben.
there is a gold piece.
So we're going to meet in the middle. If he takes the handshake, is he taking it?
He takes the handshake. Make a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. Oh, don't! I'm not going to drop the coin, please. That'd be embarrassing. Trying to stall my way out of this. Okay, sleight of hand.
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah,
that is yeah. You very swiftly sort of take the thing. The man, he is a man that is no longer. So he has to like walk with a cane. He has this long sort of coat, but underneath he wears these very military style robes in the sort of effect. And he has that look about him where you can tell he was once in the military, and he wants everyone to know it. He always wears the very few medals he got, and
like a guy to bribe.
and he's very proud. He always carries a sword at his side. He still wears this sort of his old captain's sort of tricorn on his head, even while he's indoors, which doesn't make any sense. He takes your hand. He's like,
So we're going to hold it in the middle.
Hold it in the middle, yeah.
And then I'll just say, we're looking for some information on a specific ship.
Ah, specific ship, eh? What kind of ship might that be?
It went by the name of Quickleaf.
Quickleaf. Huh.
Left this port not long part. How long we been up in Northguard, roughly?
You were up there about 2 days.
Was that it?
You got there, Javiak explained the plan, and you did the plan. It was very much a rushed endeavour to try and get things done quickly.
We are efficient. Yeah.
You are efficient.
Would have left this port not 2 days ago, a couple of days ago.
He very quickly and tentatively takes his hand away from yours, taking the gold piece as he does, and very sort of swiftly putting it back in his pocket, sort of disguising it as some sort of like scratch in his lower back. Quickly, that's a damn fine ship. That frigate, 32 guns a side, a very fast ship. Sorry, where did you see it?
Just outside the port, just a bit south of White Parish. It was heading south.
Why are you so interested in such a ship?
My friend here, I'm going to point at Oramis. He's very big on. He likes to trade with the ships that are in the water. We offer supplies and like a restocking. And when we pass them on the way up to Northguard on one of our trade runs, he made contact with the captain of the Quickleaf. And they were very interested in some of our wares, but we had to deliver a certain amount to Northguard. But we said we'd stop by them on the way back, but unfortunately he never gave a location where they were going. So
make me a deception check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
I mean,
that was good.
Convincing.
I'm helping you out.
That was good.
No, I don't think
this guy clearly knows about the ship.
Wait, Ben, did you say... Sorry, do I have to make the deception check?
You have to make the deception check.
Okay, can I just roll a 19, please?
Yeah, you sort of fiddle, almost like a conversational wizard with this guy. Almost with your sort of port ability, you almost know what he's going to say before he says it. And so he's like, "Are you sure that?" Yes, I'm sure. I met the captain. His name was Captain This. Plucking an elven name from midair is like, and this guy's like, "How does he know that? If not to, what do you know? Why? Tell me, the Quickleaf. Last I saw it, I saw it leaving with a flotilla of armament, a good number of ships surrounding it. How did you make contact with the ship? I've seen your ship out there on the harbour coming in. It's a
very fine ship, didn't you say?
Oh, fine ship, absolutely fine. Not the biggest, mind you, not quite elven made, not one of ours, but for a human made ship, it's certainly one of the nicer I've seen. Sure, yes. Yes. How did you make contact with such a ship? I know it was on a mission of some such. Not told to be not told to be making port.
We sailed past them, and obviously we had a quick exchange of words, and they decided to invite us on deck, and we had a quick chat there. We were just on our way. We had no intention of trading. Obviously, we saw they were surrounded by a whole fleet. They looked like they were very focused on what they were doing, but they hailed us, actually. So,
well, this is rather peculiar. You say they were to. You say they were to. You were to make a deal with them. You were to go find them in the future. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Well, this is rather strange. You didn't perhaps.
I don't want to be rude, sir, but we're on quite a tight schedule. We've run over a little bit, so if we could have that soon, then we could. We're looking to be off this evening, really.
I understand. I truly do. I just one question. You didn't just notice anything strange about the ship on board the ship, did you?
How to answer this?
Can I cast Charm Person?
You can.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh no! Because he's an elf, and elves are resistant.
That's a good.
That is.
You called that in time. Well done.
You called that very much just in time. Oramis gets a sort of thought for a second. You can see his eyes light up, and he's like,
anything strange? No, not particularly. I'll be too cautious these days, going out with a whole fleet to support it. I mean, the war's over now, but it wasn't when we passed it, so you can understand that. And with all this tower stuff, the creatures coming from that.
Yes, very. Yes, but particularly that. That. Oh boy. Yes. I'm to be frank with you, gentlemen. It is a large naval frigate, and I do believe it was on mission. I can't. Other than your word, I really can't give that information over. I'm afraid. I'm a military man myself. Have you seen my? I really can't let loose that information for the ship's security. It was on a particularly
Good sir,
important mission.
We do happen to have. We picked up from Northguard General Daviak of the Amber Army with us.
Right, that's me.
If you want to talk military, then please. It doesn't get much higher than good General Daviak here.
This boy knows.
That was quite good. Mazzy, make me a performance check with advantage.
Performance. Oh, can I perform?
Probably
I've got
not.
-1.
Can I? Oh.
I don't perform very well.
Why did you take that 20?
Why? There was absolutely no way he could tell. Like, because you're twins, aren't you?
Yeah, but I mean,
You're
obviously got a big a scar down his face.
But
And he's got a handprint.
We're not in.
Do you think the common man would know that Daviak's got a
But then, if
scar?
would the common man know what he even looks like then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my point. Would the common man know who General Daviak is. He's like there's a lot of generals in the army.
He's just liberated Northguard.
True.
Well,
You
Matt
sort of
Trouble
think, obviously, like I said, White Parish.
Well,
I mean, they had their own elven sect go over there.
Yeah.
You know, they were probably more concerned about their own well-being.
But if words come of the victory in Northguard that was quite a big war, then Daviak led the whole thing. I think most people would know of Daviak.
Maybe, yes. So, alright, now Oramis, make me a just standard persuasion check.
Well, we've won this. No point in doing it, really, is there?
But I'm gonna make a penalty because you shouldn't have 12, so that 12 is actually gonna be. I think you had like a 10 before.
I think it
So I'm
was.
gonna say it's plus. I think I'm gonna say plus 10 to whatever the basic roll was. So take 2 away from whatever the roll is.
Oh, Christ.
Whatever.
32.
All right. Yeah. So probably looks at you, Mazzy, sort of acting a little bit sort of awry, like a little nervous for a guy who should be a general. Sort of like, why isn't the general introducing himself? Why is this guy being so quiet, stood there at the back of the group? This doesn't make any sense. But Oramis, sort of being a bit like his hype man, is trying to sort of persuade him how, he's very, very battle weary. We just want to get this done. We just want to find out what the hell's going on. So this guy's like,
I'm actually undercover on a mission right now.
God, I'm terribly sorry. Oh Lord, I wasn't aware we were in such bonds. I know the strain of war can have on a man, as you can say, a military man myself.
Yes, you can tell.
I'm going to be very honest with you. I know not exactly where it's gone. The mission itself was particularly
Secret?
important and kept very, very secret, even to high members of this society. But it didn't actually even leave from this port. Only the gunships left from this port. It left from a small port to the north. But I do know a couple of people who you could talk to, who you can find out about. The first would be the High Wizard of White Parish's aide, and the second would be Admiral Reuven. He is, in fact, should be down on the port in one of the near one of the local inneries or taverns near the port. He usually hides out. The Hackling Hound, I believe it's called. Yes, those would be the people I would ask. Like I said, it was a very, very particularly important mission. Yes. That's all I can offer you. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right. Thank you very much, Harbour Master.
It's all right. Perfectly fine. Please come again if you have any more questions. I should probably warn you. I'd be careful asking about that ship. I heard strange rumors. Yes. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Yes. And this guy sort of like turns on his cane and shuffles sort of back behind his desk, and sort of like there's like the desk, and then there's this like upper bit where you can see like there's like a small sort of a shelf above his desk, and he sort of like begins to tuck his head down there, not even pretending, actually, like getting on with a couple of little bits of work, sort of writing down some bits of some notations and such. What would you like to do?
Sorry, Bill, what was the name of the Admiral again?
Admiral Reuven, Ruven.
Oh, W.
W, but not W.
It's a High Wizard. Was it aide to a High Wizard or Admiral Reuven, wasn't it? Were the two options he gave?
Yes. Gylndan, you would know, because you went to the school in the capital. You know of the High Wizard of White Parish. He was probably once your teacher, but in recent years has stopped teaching there, mainly because, like I said, White Parish and the elves are very, very much like we're the best sort of thing. So they almost have their own archmage, aka the High Wizard. So like not really calling him the archmage, but sort of like the archmage of the elves, if you would. You know that this guy was always in competition with Rast. Probably talked about that a lot. This guy was very much interested in how magic affects things, and how things affect magic, and how the relationship between living things, non-living things, and magic is sort of interwoven.
What was his? So what sort of branch of magic did he teach?
He probably would have taught you enchantment.
Okay.
Back in the sort of day where you were there. But like I said, he left and now works within White Parish.
Well, gentlemen, I would personally be more comfortable talking to his aide, but I know if he's there, he can be quite a prickly fellow, so we could either go quite well for us, or we could end up in a cell somewhere. So I don't know if you want to go to his aide or Admiral Reuven.
We could split up. Or do we want to go as a team?
I think split up's not a terrible idea.
I can go and speak to the Admiral as a fellow sailor.
Nice.
Nice,
Doc,
yeah.
I think you should come with me, because you're a man of magical properties.
Yeah.
And Mazzy, make sure Oramis doesn't do anything stupid.
Awesome.
Can't promise anything.
Don't you mean
Fair enough.
Daviak?
Daviak, sorry. General Daviak.
Cool. So, which one should we do first? We'll do. We'll go with the aid first, the High Wizard's aid. So you both sort of say.
Before we do that, is that a convenient point before we just dive into another thing to take a break?
Yeah.
That
with the break,
that could be a-
That work for
Yeah, I'm happy with the break there. Cool. I'll see you guys after the break. I'm gonna go pee. I've been holding this shit in for ages. Cool. So we're back. Getting straight into it. We'll start with the group that was going to
The aid.
High Mage's aid. The aid of a High Mage. So that is on the other side of town, and it being quite a large city, it takes you a good half hour to 45 minutes to actually even walk over there. But it is a very, very noticeable place. It is like sort of this place in the background. It is sort of up on this sort of quite tall hill. It is this huge sort of temple. There is a sort of bronze statue of Corellin at the top, holding a sword up high into the air, and a staff in the other hand, looking very, very sort of poised. The columns themselves are engraved with these sort of like runes of arcane all around, sort of like, and as people walk in and out of it, almost like pulses, almost like sort of counting the amount of people that come in, sort of checking who is coming in and who's leaving and what's going on. Just as you walk through the sort of front columns. Even getting there is a little bit of a sort of awkward route. You don't really know your way around the city that much, so you sort of twist and turn and go around a bunch of different places. But you do eventually make it there. You step in, and you're greeted by a man who you can probably assume isn't the aide. He's not wearing very fancy clothes. He doesn't even look like a wizard. He doesn't have an arcane focus or a staff or a wand or anything like that. He's just this sort of the man with this sort of regular sort of toga and a white and blue sort of shoulder thing. Yes. May I help you? You
Gentlemen.
Gentlemen. Yeah. Sorry. Strange. It is rare. Non-elves such as yourselves come to this place of worship.
You may help us.
Yes.
We come with a
what can I do for you?
slightly strange request, but we'll field it anyway. We'd like to see the aid to the High Wizard.
The aid to the High Wizard. Ha! You are lucky. He is one to work late in the night. Yes, he is in the large main hall. Let me take you. And he sort of walks around, and the interior of this place. So it's this big sort of rectangular building. And if you think there is a long sort of corridor that sort of goes around the exterior, and along this corridor is sort of all sorts of like scribes
Are we at a temple or a college?
A temple.
A temple.
Sort of all around the room of this place is a lot of sort of little holes for bits of paper and for scrolls and things like that, and then there's a couple of like rooms at the back for sort of like random sort of study bits, and then he leads you around to the very, very back where there is a door into the central room. Now the central room is very lavish and very decadent. It's almost like you stepped into a garden without even stepping into a garden. It is like you can see sunrise from like coming from the top, but obviously it's nighttime and you're inside, so none of this makes sense. But you can assume it's some sort of illusion of sunlight with a lot of plants and stuff magically grown on the inside to look almost like a sort of like a small sort of clearing in an open forest. It looks very, very lovely. You know, if you sort of forget for a moment you're in White Parish, you could really believe that you're just in some random forest somewhere, except for the quite noble man stood in the center on this sort of podium that he's created out of this sort of long sort of wooden branch that sort of appears up from the ground. He is a dark-skinned man, but obviously an elf. Very long, sort of pointed ears. Again, this sort of long sort of blue robe with a purple sort of shoulder thing, and a staff sort of in one hand, and he's looking over a couple of sort of incantations. There's no one else with you in this part of the room. It seems no one else is allowed in this part of the room. And as the sort of man sort of waves you in, he's very, very careful not to step inside. It seems like he's very particular about that point. The aide doesn't even look up. He just stood there, looking over his stuff.
Excuse me.
Hello. hello, little dwarf. Hello, larger human. How can I help you?
Is there somewhere we could go for a private chat?
Oh, yes. He raises his staff, and suddenly, where you guys walked in, sort of walls of vines and sort of wooden branches sort of appear up from these sort of like the two main ways in. Like, there we are. And he sort of smacks his sort of staff at the bottom of the ground again. And all of a sudden, from all the outside walls of this place, you can just see this sort of arcane sheen go across, almost like this. Gylndan, you probably know this is some kind of sort of soundproofing element. Easily wardable, but
like a ward.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm not going to say this, but this is too private. Okay. Wow, impressive ability.
Thank you. Yes, my master has taught me many things since I've been here.
Yes, I know him. He taught at the college where I studied.
Oof.
A fine man.
Yes, fine man. Yes, some of his lesser days working in that college. I hope you don't mind me. Saying sort of thing, of course. But yes, he is come on a long way since then. I was at a white parish, of course. Yes. What is it you'll be needing with my master?
We need to acquire some knowledge about a ship. I don't know if you know of it. Called the Quickleaf.
His face suddenly sort of drops. He turns. He's looking around the room like, yes, Quickleaf, a fine vessel. Lovely sheen on the sails. Very, very fast, I've heard. Seen those cannons? Oh, wouldn't want to be on the tail end of those. Begins sort of randomly looking over his notes again. Just like, yes. What about the ship? What about?
I'll put you at ease, my friend. We just wish to seek it for trade.
A military vessel. A military vessel such as that for trade. Seems rather odd. Don't you think seek it out? It's a pretty big ship. Can't you find it?
We can find it if we know where it's going, and that's what we need to know from you.
Yes, silly me. I mean, why not ask the harbour master or the admiral or captain of the barracks? He might know. Why would I know anything about where that's going or where my master is at that point? You're smothering me, I say.
I'll just put my staff to my chest, and I'll just say, and this is so cheesy, but I came here for the respect of wizards. And I know I will always get a truthful answer from a fellow brother. This guy needs blowing up, Luke.
In the corner.
Well, I'm afraid I'm no harbour master. I have no idea where it's gone. No. Sorry. Might have to talk to someone else.
That's a real shame Oramis isn't there.
Are we still in this room, Ben?
You're still in the room, yeah.
Can I take quite a slow but quite a firm step towards him?
Okay.
I'll just say quite quietly and completely calm, just say, there's other ways to get the answer.
Yes. Oh God, talking about the Quickleaf. Somehow I knew it to come to that. Please, he very very quickly sort of turns around and like sort of flashing his robe. Like, please, I really don't want to hurt anyone. I'm not about that in magic. I don't think magic should be used to hurt anyone. I really don't want to.
Can I try and sort of step around behind him?
Yeah. I just think that in this situation, you should think really what you're going after. My master would not be pleased. He's a lot lesser to the violence than I am.
Your master doesn't have to know, and will be gone just as soon as you give us the answer.
But he'll know when you get there. I mean, you'll know when you get there. That's what he is. He's not there. My master isn't there. My master's not there. No. My master's at his home, sleeping away. Early sleeper. He is. Bit chilly in this room.
I think,
isn't it?
You've let slip more than you should have, and perhaps the information you've just revealed wouldn't go down with a few high-ranking officials in this city. We can keep it that way, that they don't know, but we'd like to know where the High Wizard is, and the Quickleaf.
Roll me persuasion with advantage.
Yeah, we definitely could have done with Oramis here. Persuasion with advantage. Please. Oh, neither the advantage.
All right, yes. Deep breaths, Jason. Deep breaths. Yes, my master is on that ship. I'll give you that much. With some words, you are. It has gone south. The ship's gone far south, very far south. My master was needed on that ship to keep it at bay. You see, it was very, very angry. Kept muttering about revenge and.
I'm already quite close to him. Step forward again. Just say, keep what at bay?
And he casts invisibility on himself.
I counterspell that.
All right. He doesn't cast invisibility on himself. He sort of goes very, very quickly, sort of starts like twiddling his fingers a little bit, and he sort of like almost flashes, like begins to flash almost semi-transparent for a moment before you very, very quickly just like slam down your staff and look him dead in the eyes while he's doing this, and you're like,
can I just bang just like quite solidly, just like place like dunk my hammer down on the floor, so it's got like quite a weighty like earth behind it.
Yeah. You slam your hammer down on the ground, and though the ground is made to look like dirt, it is obviously still stone. So underneath there is this sort of louder boom. There's a big hammer. I wasn't trying to do anything there, just testing you.
That's the only chance you're gonna get. And don't test that.
Can I ready an action that if he tries to cast another spell, I'm gonna try and like
choke him?
No, I'm gonna try and like grab his wrists to stop him.
Okay. So he sort of stood there. He's very, very hesitant. He's like, to keep it. My master. He will hear about this. He will be feared. Do you know who he is? Was it your little counterspell there? God, he counterspell you for a million years. When he hears about this, he will not be pleased. Let me tell you that for nothing, sir. He will not be pleased.
Let us worry about that.
You know, the wings and the scales and the...
A dragon.
You wouldn't even believe it. I thought they were all gone. I thought those infernal creatures had wiped off the face of this fucking earth. Terrifying. And the fact that one could come from the goddamn tower. I mean, only demons and devils are coming from the tower. It must have been coming from the night.
What?
must have been coming from the Nine Hells. How the bloody good, I say. All the damn creatures and the Dragonborn too should go to hell for all I care.
Flash the ring of the Guardians and slit his throat. Be done with it.
Oh, can you say Oramis? Whisper something there.
Devilish bloody creature.
What do they intend to do with the dragon from the tower?
That much my master failed to inform me. He kept that rather secret. Only him and a few others really know about that sort of thing. How did you know there was a bloody dragon anyway?
You said.
Is there a way out of this thing, Ben? Or are we just in like a... You know, like when Groot sacrifices himself in the first Guardians of the Galaxy, we're just in one of them.
It is sort of like a much larger one of them, but something. But it is obviously made of. It is obviously magical, and also it is just like made of wood and things like that. But otherwise, the magic is controlled seemingly by him.
All right. Well. If it says concentration spell.
Yeah.
Oh, so if he's knocked out.
I mean, if he's knocked out, obviously all this would, it would all dissipate.
Okay. I think we'll go for a slightly more civil approach. I'll just say I think we're done here. Lower the walls.
I will be informing my master. I know your faces. I always recall a face. Always.
It's quite wet
Every time. Fine. Slammed his thing on the floor a couple of times, and the doors begin to sort of like slither open, like the vines begin to sort of slowly slither open, and the sort of ward around the room sort of suddenly flashes again and dissipates.
Look at Doc and say, I think we got what we came for. Let's head back.
I agree. You've achieved that quite excellently.
And now
He said that to me in front of the guy. Ultimate humiliation. Yes, good job, well done. I'm still here.
And you leave this guy.
It doesn't look like I would just say it doesn't look like I was really necessary, and just sort of crack my knuckles a little bit as we leave. Let's hope we don't have to come back.
And as you sort of walk out of the room, sort of like chuckling to yourselves about this, you take one quick look back, and you can now see the room is very dark, as if loads of clouds are over there, and you could just hear like the crack of thunder and like fake rain pouring from the ceiling, like, oh dear. And now we can move on to the other group. So the other group heading to the Hackling Hound, the place where the Admiral is usually, can often be found. The two of you find this rather lovely, really, despite the name, looking tavern. It is a very, very fancy place, again, despite the name, where they mostly sell things like wines and stuff. They have a famed wine cellar, and all this stuff, as it says on the thing. Says on the thing outside. Large, sort of stained glass windows either side of the two like really big, tall front doors. You head inside, and it's busy, but it's almost like eerily quiet. There's a lot of people sipping on fine wines and drinking and speaking in hushed tones as to not sort of cause a ruckus as they think they would. In the back of the room, you can see a couple of soldiers sort of guarding this man who sat at a table like with a glass of wine by him. He's wearing a lot of sort of military gear, mainly naval gear, like this long sort of naval petticoat, a lot of sort of medals upon his side. You can see at his feet, just by his feet, is this large tricorn with this very, very flamboyantly large feather on the top. Each of the guards is like holding a shield, almost think like royal guards outside of Buckingham Palace, like very, very, like not even moving, like nothing about them is moving, other than you can see like their eyes occasionally fluttering around the room, just having a look. Especially as you guys walk in, they sort of look at you, almost concerned for a minute that, you know, half elf and a human, especially a human, has walked in. But it's by the by. What would you two like to do?
Gonna go and
just confirm what we're actually information we're trying to get here.
we want to find out where the ship's gone.
Fine.
We are going to go and order one of the finer wines from the selection.
Yeah. Like,
how much is that going to
are we
set us
talking
back?
like finest? Are we talking like finest or
The one
finer?
that looks the finest, but probably isn't the most expensive.
Like, yeah, it's got a really nice bottle and a really nice label, but if you know anything about wine, it's not the most expensive one. We'd like a bottle.
Yeah, the entire bottle would probably cost you somewhere around 20 gold.
Share that. 10.
It is this.
Okay.
It is this very, very fancy looking bottle. There isn't even a label. It's one of those bottles where all the information you would need is sort of like made in glasswork, sort of engraved into the glasswork, and around the glasswork is this sort of like netting look. You know, it's meant to be. Its whole thing is that the grapes are taken from a vineyard by the sea. You know, it is a very, very fancy wine. Sat at this sort of the top of the thing. The guy, the sort of bartender, this very, very fancy guy with an apron, very slim and slender sort of guy, doesn't make any like facial expressions. Clearly, like a really trained bartender, trying not to make any judgments on anyone for their drinking or anything. Grabs it for you, takes the gold, pushes it over, and even though it's like fancy but not too great, it smells like divine, properly nice.
We're like, we've bought the most expensive wine here.
I
know what we're doing.
Bill it to
Aramis.
Bill it to expenses.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, for Mazzy and
Aramis,
Oramis, this is the best thing we've ever tasted, right?
100%.
and he
we're
gives
just
you
coming
two
for wine
glasses
now.
alongside that as well. What would you like to do? You have
I have a bold plan.
Oh dear.
Shall we discuss before plan is executed?
Well, what I was gonna, as he's an admiral, I figure he probably would know that you are not Daviat. However, I was thinking we could go over and say that you've been sent on a mission by Daviak on his behalf, and we need to locate to send a message to the boat.
Yeah. Suppose that would work. We do use the Daviat card a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, twins is a useful thing.
It's almost like
That-
Mazzy's brothers.
It's like
more
that's just my
useful
only
than
job whenever we get into conflict.
Well,
Hey, JJ, you said it.
I mean, if you got another suggestion of how you want to
No,
handle
I like it. We'll go.
We could be more stealthy if you like, or
How do you stealthily find out the location of a boat?
don't know. Right,
We make
let's-
him so
okay.
drunk that he doesn't realise he's told us.
That's a shout. We could do that.
I was going to say back at least 100 gold.
That is true.
Yeah, please, lightly.
There's 20 gold a bottle. Jeez. Okay, well, go with
Do anything you can spike his drink with.
no.
So what are you doing? What are you doing?
So we will, with our bottle of fancy-looking wine and glasses, we're going to approach the general in the corner.
Yeah.
Is he? Is he by himself? Are there people with
He
him?
is currently by himself, so it's this small little it's almost like a small little booth set into the stone of the wall of the place, with these two guards sort of guarding by the side of the booth, as to where he's sort of sat.
What was his name?
General Admiral Reuven. Ruven.
I feel you should speak first, Oramis, as you are the captain of a ship speaking to an admiral. You might be able to get on good terms with them.
So we approach and say, Admiral Reuven, it's such an honour to meet you, and I'm so relieved that we've finally found you.
Immediately, the two guards sort of step in front of both of you, looking you dead in the eyes, like, "Hey, watch where you're stepping." But the admiral is like, well, turns around. Wait, a man that looks.
Is he pissed already?
a man that looks just like General Daviak, and a sailor, half a... the saviors of Northguard. In my presence. Oh, boys, sit, please. Actually, no, wait. This is a fine establishment. I have offices upstairs. Let's
Oh, you legend.
Let us
Have
talk.
you-
I
have you really looked
have
into this?
some questions.
Of course, anything for
anything
fine
for fun.
admiral.
The admiral
like yourself.
stands up. The soldiers stand very much to attention, and he walks over to the barman. He sort of nods at the barman. Barman turns around, opens a door that's behind the bar, and he leads you two through it. The two guards now like standing either side of this door, making it rather awkward for the barman to try and like scoot past them every time that he's trying to grab something. But he does sort of take you up these stairs. Like, I have to say, I'm an admiral. I'm an admiral myself. I've won many a battle in my years. But we'll talk more inside. And he takes you into this quite large office space. Again, this sort of like not really stained glass window. You know that sort of glass window where it's got all the like the crosses sort of in it each way. Sort of like that is a big window at the front, looking right out into the port. It's a large desk at the very, very end. A lot of bookshelves either side of the room, lit by a few sort of dim, sort of quite large candles. It's like, gentlemen, lords, I did not expect you in my room. Sorry, word travels fast. Most people have already heard of the exploits. Tell me, was there really a Leonin and a Minotaur up there? I mean,
the stories we can tell you.
Oh, I mean that is why I'm here. I would love to. How did you do it? Now, there are people saying. Now, there are rumors, obviously. Some are saying that. I mean, you all cleaved through the city yourself and took down the tower. Some say you were merely like shadows in the night. I've even heard one man say that you unleashed a fireball that exploded the tower. How did you do it exactly?
It is all true.
Well, between you and us. Between you and us, it's all true.
It's all true.
The fireball, like shadows in the night. I know it's hard to believe, but we can really switch it up when we need to.
Lord, to be young and adventuring again. You really you saved us that day. Oh, Sam's had enough of the ego. Wait for him to get back a sec.
Oh, this is quite the ego stroke for Oramis. He's got a boat, he's got a fancy admiral praising him.
Hello.
Oramis' ego is going to be engorged tonight.
That is amazing, gentlemen. Just amazing. Please, come here. I've been saving this. Put down that. What wine is that? What wine is that exactly?
It's the.
You tell him what wine it is. If you want to. He's like, oh, that's swell. Please, come here. Try some of this. He sort of like takes your glasses from you, pours both of the wines into like a small like bin he has in the corner, and pours some of the one he was drinking. Pours some of the one that he was drinking, and it is, for those of you that like, you can like smell it, like smell of the bouquet. It smells extremely fruity, very, very potent, really, really lovely. Lord, why is it your own white parish? I mean, I thought you would truly be going down to the capital and sharing your splendor with the rest of the army. Surely.
We don't like to show off celebrate our winnings. We're very humble.
Oh, the humble of
I am in fact the most humble.
You will never find anyone more humble than I.
how the ladies must swoon, gentlemen, I tell you.
It's actually been quite barren recently.
There has been a lack of the ladies, must be said.
Oh my lord! Then let me recommend the burlesques of White Parish. The Fair Dame is a particularly lovely establishment I frequent in. Ask for Cassandra. She's particularly.
Can I give Mazzy a little like raised eyebrow look and just kind of roll my eyes, and just say thank you? I'll be sure to check that out.
Yes. But yes. Why White Parish? I mean, obviously, I'm happy to for you to be here, and Lord but yes, why here? Why?
Well, of course, I'm a great admirer of yours as a highly proficient sailor that you are, and a hero of the waves. However, it is not just to meet an icon of mine that we are here. We have been sent by General Daviak with a request to pass a message on to the
a message
to the quick leaf. Is it the quick leaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, the quick leaf.
As soon as you say Quickleaf, like pretty much everyone else, he sort of turns and he places his hand on his pocket, almost like instinctively, on this small sort of leather pouch he has at his side. Like, the General Daviak and the Quickleaf. I believe General. Why would the General want the Quickleaf?
I mean, I'm afraid this is classified information.
Good play.
Classified information. I'm seriously afraid that the Quickleaf is away for the time being, gone down south. We'll be back north, maybe within the week, maybe next week.
This cannot wait a week. This is of the utmost importance that we deliver this message.
Then I really don't know what to tell you, boys. Lord, this is truly embarrassing. It was sent out itself on a mission not 3 days ago. Had we known, obviously we would have supplied General Daviak with what is it he needs with the quick? Yes, the classified information, of course. Even so classified that a general wouldn't know. I mean, surely you can tell me an admiral of the White Parish Navy, finest ships in all of Ambyr.
Well, of course, we trust you with our lives, Admiral, but we have strict orders, and we are men of honour, and we would not like to go against those. I'm just going to cross my heart as I say that.
The other hand behind your back with the fingers most certainly crossed.
Can I at this point? Can I just go, Admiral, please? We're friends here, and I get out a bottle of half-fire rum and say, "Here, please have a drink." As a fellow sailor, I'm sure you'll enjoy some of this. Give him some of that rum that I stole from.
That guy.
This honourable man stole something.
Yeah.
Oh! Wow! This is truly fancy. I can maybe see what you're doing here, but I'm truly afraid that that rum does look at it. No, I am afraid it is of the highest importance that the ship complete its mission. I'm very afraid. Yes, it will be back. It has gone south and will be back again soon, hopefully.
Are you able
Could you
to
give me a moment alone?
Okay, yeah.
With my friends here.
Yes, of course. Mind if I dig into some of this rum of yours?
Yes, help yourself. Just don't drink it all. I know what you want, dogs.
Of course not. You can see sort of opens the rum, takes a very, very deep sort of sniff into the sort of top of the. 'Tis, 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 'tis gorgeous, lovely spice to it. He's examining like the color and everything like that, of it, viscosity of the rum and everything. Yeah, you guys can talk among yourselves.
What's up?
Do we want to leave it? Do we want to press the point a bit more?
I feel we could press the point. I don't know. We don't know the mission that this ship is on, so maybe we can try and get that information out of him. But I feel he may want something in return, or more information in return.
Yes, we.
Do you think, as he is a general, he's a general? He's not a general. He's
an admiral.
Admiral, that's the one. He might have missions that he may need help with, help that the Guardians can provide.
Maybe
Do you
we
think we could offer our services in the future?
Yeah, maybe.
For information.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Okay, let's go back in. Admiral.
Yes, gentlemen.
If you could tell us where the Quickleaf has gone, we would be truly in your debt. And if you had any services that you would require, the heroes of Northguard would be more than happy to be at your beck and call.
He suddenly turns rather aggressive. You can see him sort of cross his eyes. Enough about the bloody Quickleaf. I'm sorry. It is information that is out of your bounds. It is not to be known. Well above your pay grade. I'm sorry, but that is just the way it is. It is very, very, very secret mission. Above the likes of the likes of you two. I'm sorry. Bloody.
Could you at least tell us when it set off on its mission down south?
I think he said 3 days ago.
We did say that. Sorry.
Yes, this is set up about 3 to 4 days ago. Something. Again, sort of a very, very firm hand placed on the almost like clutching it very, very hard with his hand on this small pocket, on this small sort of like leather burlap pocket of his.
What's he got in that pocket?
I don't really want to aggravate him anymore.
Admiral, please. Why do you keep touching your pocket? Surely you don't mean to attack us. We're friends. We're on the same side.
Maybe he's just happy to see us.
Nothing but letters of the sort. You need not know. Official business of White Parish. Nothing about the damn Quickleaf. No. Of course not. Bloody Quickleaf. I mean, not even that has a ship.
How good is my sleight of hand?
I was literally just thinking that. I was going to like, yeah, okay.
It's only a +3. No, okay. Shall we leave it then and hope that the others have got some useful information?
So what have we got? I mean, it's set up 3 days ago. It's gone down south. It's on a very important mission. Should be back in 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
4 days, you said. No,
4 days.
No. Yeah, a couple of weeks. Sorry, I thought you were saying when it left.
So we know that 3 days ago it set sail south. We could potentially catch it.
I mean, we could catch it. We can try and plot a course and try and see how long it would take to, work out from the information that we got where it might have gone. And where it could be. It is possible, but do we want to do that?
You can't just stab him.
I mean, you could stab him. You have
your guards outside.
The charm person. It's only advantage.
But he's an elf.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's still advantage.
Is he drunk?
He has had a little.
Have a bit more of this rum, and then we'll stab you.
He probably has had a little bit to drink. Yeah.
But then the thing is, when the spell ends, he knows he's been charmed. So we'd have to be out of there.
Yeah, he proper knows you as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth ruining our reputation.
No, I think we leave it. Okay. Let's just give our apologies then, and say we'll wait for the ship's return then.
Thank you for your time.
and hope that nothing has gone awry as a result of your commands.
What the hell's that supposed to mean? Nothing ever goes wrong at the hold. Noah. Nothing ever goes wrong at sea.
Everything goes on.
I said at sea. Good. Good evening to you.
Can I snatch up the rum off of his desk very aggressively? Take that back.
Here I thought you were respectable gentlemen.
He's had a bit too much to drink. I apologise.
Bloody half-elves. Turns around. Goes to sort of like... He turns around and very, very quickly sort of like looks at his desk, goes to pour himself another drink of his own wine.
Until our paths cross again.
Yes. Whatever.
Well, it started off so nicely.
As we head down the stairs, I say just loud enough so that he might be able to catch it, but probably is second guessing what I've said. I just say to Mazzy, "What an arsehole."
Fair enough.
Oramis, do you need any more, enemies on the high seas?
Maybe.
Just makes it more enjoyable, more fun. You don't know what you're going to come up against.
I'm sure all it does actually is just raise that check number for when we do our survival checks.
Right, let's...
What's this? You all rolled 20s. 7 ships appear on the horizon.
Oramis
Yes,
made
it
an
was
enemy
going
of
to be
the
14.
Admiral of the Navy.
Yes, it was going to be
So what now? You head back downstairs. You're once again in this room. The elves sort of see you out. They don't really know what's transpired up there. They just sort of see you out and again guard the door.
Shall we head back to the boat? Set sail? Maybe?
I'd like to think we
I mean-
agreed to meet back at the boat.
Yeah, I wasn't just leaving you guys.
Are we setting sail? What is the plan here?
Well, let's discuss.
Have we met up at the? Are we all
Yeah,
at the boat? Yeah.
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 Right now,
Oh,
it's
hi,
probably
guys.
around like 9 o'clock in the
What's
evening.
up?
something
We've been
like
to a really
Man-
fancy bar.
Mazzy and I have finished off the rest of that fancy wine that we had.
We're a little bit tipsy.
that. Oh yeah, roll me 2 constitution saves. Each years. Oh lord, that all came out for once. And you guys are fine. You guys have drunk all that. You ain't even tipsy. You're perfectly fine.
Yeah,
We've
boy.
done well there. We can handle our liquor.
All right.
You both neck this bottle and you're just like, what is this fruit juice? I'd give this to my kids.
I mean, it sounds like you paid a lot of money for this, and it's just done nothing. I feel nothing.
That's true.
So yeah, after a little while, you guys head back to the boat, and by the time you'd be done with all of that and headed back to the ship, it would have been probably another 15 to 20 minutes before the others come back and meet you there.
Hello, lads. Actually, no. Based on what we've just been told, I imagine Doc and I are going to come in quite sort of somber and serious, and just say we need to get after the quick leaf fast.
We don't have much to go on. That admiral was, started off very nicely, but he got quite defensive and aggressive as soon as we mentioned the quick leaf. He told us, that it went south 3 days ago. He started to say the hold, I believe.
Yeah, the hold.
The hold, but quickly backtracked on what he said. And just said that it was heading south and we'd be back in a couple of weeks. I think we could catch it with a few of our days' sail.
Well,
The Quickleaf being a large frigate,
We wouldn't be
and
able to
it being like
catch it.
3 days, most likely wouldn't be able to catch it.
Oh, it's slow, man. It's got a dragon weighing it down.
we've got an elephant weighing ours down.
That's fair. Fair point. Right. There's no need to talk about Doc like that.
When he's got his armour on,
Oh shit!
of the unit. We managed to. We know they are holding a dragon.
Oh.
A dragon from the tower, which I mean that's scary on so many levels.
Yeah. Maybe we leave that shit alone.
I don't know if we
were
need
to
to.
chase it down, are we well equipped enough to take this on right now?
Well,
We've beat a dragon before.
You have.
As well
Although it
as
was,
this ship with a
It was,
feared
it
captain.
was a dragon who was very, very, very hurt at the time you were fighting it. But still a dragon. You have beaten
We're
a dragon.
We're a lot stronger than we were back then.
this dragon might be a lot stronger.
Probably is.
I'm guessing it's not a fully grown, like, ancient dragon or a red dragon or anything like that.
Well, if it's from hell.
That's a fair point. Do we know what kind of dragon it is?
No, just we know that the High Wizard went to keep control of it. I'm going to put forward a suggestion that might not be the most popular, but I don't think we have enough information to go chasing this ship.
No.
So I
kind of
think
agree.
we go to the tower. I think
Let's
we've
go.
been putting it off for long enough, and now we found out that the dragon has come from the tower. I think it's even more of an incentive to go and deal with it because there's some powerful stuff coming out of it.
And if we wait, you never know, that dragon might come back to defend the tower, so
Yeah.
he could be undefended.
Although I think the elves are
As
going to
undefended.
use it for their own purposes. These elves seem like they put their own interests first. So I don't know what they. I don't think they use it to attack somewhere.
They seem quite ambitious.
Yes. But I think we head for the tower. I think that's our next move.
Let's go.
Right,
Let's
idea.
head to the tower then. Shall we do what JJ suggested and command the crew to sail round
What
to the Shattered
about
Coast?
if we sail down past Krigan into the capital?
I can put you guys back on the map just so you can have a bit of a better view of it.
If we sail
Where are we now again, Ben?
The map's on Roll20 now. I've put it up for you.
Yeah, but
We're
where
right here.
Alright, so you guys
White
are
Perch.
here.
Yeah,
right.
so if we sail down the coast past Krigan and into the capital, it's highly likely we could at least track the Quickleaf for part of its journey. We might be able to pick up a little bit more information along the way, but if we don't, then I don't think we've lost anything by sailing to the capital to
Because we can go to the
tower that is here. And if we decide to do that, then we can dispatch the crew to the Shattered Coast.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so down the coast to the capital. Awesome. So, are you staying the night in White Parish, or are you?
Can we sleep on the boat?
for the night. Yeah, we can sleep on the boat. We can take ships.
Yeah. You can all take night shifts on the boat. Awesome. All right. So you guys get back on the boat. You think you've still got a couple of hours that you can stay awake for. The crew have been somewhat resting themselves after a day of sailing, so they are pretty ready to go. And with that, you unfurl the sails, untie the boat from the docks, and get yourselves back on going.
If we still got a bit of time in the evening, can I challenge Oramis? Can I bet him 10 gold that I can jump higher than him?
Bet in 10 gold, you can jump higher than that.
Yeah. Would you want go on? Are we doing it?
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
What are we rolling for it, Ben?
It'd be athletics.
Okay. Well, Oramis, you rolled a 1.
There it is.
So I'll just take my 10 gold.
Oh, you bastard.
I saw that coming immediately.
See, I thought I was about to be like, oh, maybe he's prepared to spell jump, because that's a thing. You can jump super high.
Oh my god! What a waste! It's like.
There is an actual jump height everyone can jump. I think it's like something, an amount of feet equal to your strength. But
What?
I like.
Surely not.
No, it's probably not. But
Because that gives Doc an 18-foot vertical leap.
no. Equal to your strength modifier.
Oh, your strength modifier, right.
Yeah, strength. Not your actual strength.
Well, you said
that was
strength, and I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, no, strength modifier. So that would mean you'd be able to jump 4 feet tall, but I would make a penalty because you're wearing heavy armor. But I like having an athletics in there to add in a couple of feet or so. So yeah, Oramis tries to jump, doesn't realise his bootlaces undone. Sort of jumps. Like 1 foot jumps, the other one stays still because it stood on his shoelace, and one of his shoes just comes off. It's like, oh fuck, what the? Whereas Gylndan jumps higher than he has ever jumped before.
I'm sorry, Nick, I just wanted to use my actual one.
Can't believe you've conned me out of 10
You
gold.
should have used your natural one and the 19 and said that.
I'll use the 19 earlier
Oh, did you?
to deceive the Harbour Master. Yeah.
Can I see this going on and bet Gylndan the same, that I can jump higher than him?
Okay, you're a
No.
dwarf. Are we saying jumping from the height that you start at
No.
to the height?
I'm going to decline. I've already got one good jump in me a day. No, I'm
We're gonna
getting
have a
old now.
championship. I'm going to have a go with Doc, and then the winner faces face off.
Well, you can do that if you want.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, roll athletics. The both of you. Doc, you automatically get a penalty because
You're fat.
you're wearing heavy armor.
I'm going to
Plus
argue
7,
that I'm
JJ, didn't point
technically
out.
not, because I would have had my leather armor on the ship.
Okay.
Lost anyway.
Okay. Yeah, you
10
lost
gold,
anyway.
please. Ah.
You bastard.
What is this? Arguing you can jump?
I couldn't think of anything
Gylndan
quick
came
enough.
up with a fun
You
competition.
could have you could have done cards or dice or whatever. Anyway.
I know I can use my thing on an ability check. I didn't know if I could use it on a dice roll or something.
Oh,
so
no, he's on a dice roll, but
yeah, so I thought I'll just do it on a jumping competition.
Double or nothing. I'll give you an arm wrestle.
anyway,
Mazzy's pretty strong.
Mazzy is strong. He's
Double or
in
nothing?
athletics as well.
What are we rolling for that then, JJ?
Well, I'd argue that's not athletics. That's just straight strength.
That's straight strength.
Wait, what are you doing?
And an arm wrestle.
No, but I'm
Arm wrestle. So arm wrestle will do best of 3 in a strength.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's
Rock,
fine.
paper, then.
both you roll strength.
Okay.
No,
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh!
That's a strength save. Reroll.
Oh shit, yeah, it is.
Just
I'll do it again.
just roll straight.
Ah!
Oh no!
One not a duck.
This is Doc. This is Mazzy. So Doc wins 1. Go again.
Ready?
Yeah, you go first this time. Oh!
Oh,
Mazzy wins 1. Go
all
again.
down to the last one.
It's going to be a draw.
On go, okay, ready?
I can imagine.
3,
3,
2,
1,
1,
go.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you just lost 20 gold in 4 dice rolls.
Seeing these jumping competitions, Mazzy sets up a small little table that was below Dexter in the captain's cabin. Pulls it out, does an arm wrestle with Doc. Doc starts out strong. Wait, no, does Doc start out? Yeah, Doc starts out strong, but then Mazzy sort of conserving his energy, so he pulls him back a little bit and then slams his hand down on the table.
The second
All
one, I'm
the
like,
men.
oh, no, I'm about to.
Sorry,
What
Ben.
am I going to do? Bang.
Did Mazzy just go and take something out of the captain's cabin without asking?
Don't write this into my narrative.
It would seem he did.
Is that what happened? I'm going to command him, and everyone else on the ship is going to make sure that this happens. He doesn't sleep tonight. He is staying up all night. I will not have
making
people
sure you don't
take...
sleep then. I'm going to make sure you don't sleep.
I'm in the captain's cabin. This is my ship.
Well, I'm coming in the captain's cabin then.
What has this devolved into?
We got a bit too. We clearly drank a bit too much.
I'm thinking about mutiny right about now.
Oh, let's do it.
I reckon
Let's do
we
it.
can take him.
100%.
I reckon you can.
In his sleep, we'll lift him up. We'll chuck him over.
We got a mission. Let's go. Matt, you're staying awake. Let's go.
Okay. So obviously all of this is going on. The crew sort of cheerful already. They were watching all this randomness go on. They seem quite enthralled of the idea of like friendly friendly competition.
Exercise.
And they definitely seem a bit more sort of thing with Mazzy seeing his strength over Doc, like strength, a human beating a dwarf in a strength competition. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And with that said and done, you make sail and set off.
Why did I challenge Matt in a competition of rolls?
Why?
This has only just occurred to me.
Your overconfidence is your weakness.
Yes.
It is a couple of hours into the evening, then before you'll decide, okay, this is probably a good point to hit the hay. Looking up at the sky, the stars are brightly lit over the sea. It's still a little bit windy, but it doesn't seem or look like there's much bad weather on the horizon. So you're like, alright, yeah, it's probably a decent time to get some kip, place a small sort of torchlight on the mast, and you go to sleep. Everyone, so who would be on watch first? If you're doing watch, that is.
So,
yeah. Alright. Who's on watch?
Do we need to do? If we've got a crew, do we need to do watch?
They need to sleep too.
Yeah, but there's I don't know. There's six of them.
There's
You
six of
probably
them.
need more people on watch than just one, though.
Yeah, two at once, right?
Well, I presume we're continuing to sail through the night.
You would be making a very, very slow pace through the night. So the crew would go. The crew would be on almost like shifts as well, because obviously they need sleep. They can't function. Without a day's sleep. But so like it'd be sort of like a skeleton crew of people, just sort of making sure the ship is
just keeping the ship moving and in the right place.
Yeah, so you'd be on like quartermast. So like just a tiny bit of wind drifting you over, almost like quarter speed of your usual speed, but you are still manoeuvring along.
I don't want to take a first watch then.
Okie dokie. Roll me a perception check and a d12. D12. Your watch passes pretty quickly, spending most of your time staring up at the night sky. Maybe it reminds you of a place. Maybe it doesn't. As you see all these stars and this huge moon overhead. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Oh,
No.
go on, Melly.
Oh, I have gone. Perception, isn't it?
Mm. And a d12.
You don't know if that's good.
Oh, that's a good point.
Mazzy.
Oh no, bad.
You're, again, watching out the sort of night sky. You can sort of see, like, it suddenly gets a little bit cloudy. Just a little bit, probably nothing to worry about. Until that cloud, you're very, very sort of attentive to, starts to descend.
Oh, fuck.
Almost
Too
quickly starts to descend, and it swirls and spins in this slow motion all the way down. You ring the bell, waking everyone up. You can just sort of hear Chikara even stirring, like, woo! Like beginning to stir. Yes, that was my elephant impression. Beginning to stir below decks. And as the clouds forms at the bottom, everyone would probably make it to. Most people would probably make it to the sort of deck of the boat, just about. When the cloud hits the bottom of the ship, it swirls around several times before eventually you begin to see something within the cloud. Something is there, and it's suddenly standing there. You can see the moon reflecting off these metal plates of heavy armor over the place, standing there. And as the cloud forms and spins eerily quietly, again, like the only things you can hear right now is everyone sort of getting ready and the sort of quiet sort of washing of the waves against the side of the boat. The full form begins to emerge, and slowly the clouds sort of just pour back up the form to reveal a knight standing there in blackened armor, the sigil of Ambyr over his chest, and a great sword at his side. He stood, stumbles for a minute, looks around. He doesn't wear a helmet. Looks around at the lot of you and quickly falls like a sack of bricks to the floor, almost like passed out. What would you like to do?
Doesn't seem like a threat.
Yeah, go over to him, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to him. I assume by the time I'm over to him, everyone is now up on deck and is visible, so I'm going to then cast my, what do I have? Cure Wounds.
Yeah.
Straight in with a Cure Wounds.
Well, I don't know who he is. Got to find out. And then I've got cover should he be a bad person. You're all here, so...
Did he look hurt, or did he just collapse?
Make me a investigation check.
Oh, are we all up? Yeah, or was Mazzy going with this first?
Actually, Mazzy's there first. You guys are just sort of coming out to the bottom of the ship,
I've seen him fly down, so I'll roll investigation because it would make more sense for me to...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
roll investigation first.
Please do. So is yours.
Wasted on a bloody arm wrestle.
The knight wears very, very heavy armor. Pretty much like plate armor.
That's all I could tell.
It's black. You can see there are places where it has scratched. Again, this sort of symbol or symbol of Ambyr right on the front. Very, very fancy armor. Very, very decadent armor. Built for him, almost like particularly for this guy. You can see the plates like perfectly aligned to his form and things like that. He doesn't seem dead. He's alive, breathing very, very heavily.
I assume it's exhaustion, not injuries. But
are you still going to cast your Cure Wounds?
Investigation, I can't really check if he's.
Yeah. As far as you're aware, he's conscious. He's just lying there, sort of in an almost unconscious, dreary state.
Then, as I'm still the first person there, and the others probably haven't come to see me, I assume he's injured, so I'm going to do Cure Wounds because I don't know much more.
Yeah. You place your hand upon his chest, preparing the incantation, and suddenly his hand snatches to your wrist. His eyes burst wide open, like extremely wide open, and inside you can see these almost pure white pearls. And you can just say, "You were the guardians. She said you were the guardians. She said you would come help us. You were the only ones to help us. Why? Why didn't you help us? Why did you leave us there? Why did you leave us there? You left us to die. You left all of us to die. We're all dead because of you. You left us to die."
Oh, this is one of the blokes we left in the tower.
He collapses back to the back of the ship. You see now that this sort of pale human skin that wasn't there, from his eyes, the veins all around go this sort of black colour that spreads all across his face, down his body. You can see it in his hands, and sort of between the armour plates in place you would see his skin. And he goes almost like sheen white. What would you like to do?
Oh, shoot.
Throw him overboard.
No, we're not throwing him overboard.
Nobody saw anything. Nothing happened.
I mean, what do people think? What should we do?
Is there a safe way to cremate him?
On the boat?
Yeah.
Made of wood?
No, that's what I'm asking.
I mean,
Well, should we? Look, we're heading to the capital. Should we just, like, close his eyes,
Put a cloak over him.
put a cloak over him, take him back to the capital?
Well, it is a short journey, but it's not very good for morale to have a dead body on the boat, is it?
Also, how do you explain having
we're going to leave him out on deck.
How do you explain having a dead knight of Ambyr on your boat?
Yeah.
Doesn't look great.
No.
As you're all discussing this, and you're talking amongst yourselves, suddenly you can see a twitch in his leg, in his arm, in his neck. And you could hear this eerily loud scream come from this monstrous scream that echoes all across the waves of the ocean. He turns onto his front, clutching his stomach. He is severely in pain. You watch as his human ears almost elongate to a point. His skin, from this pale white to these black veins, turns this mottled red. His facial features going gaunt and tight over his face. Horns grow from his head. You can physically see the skin splitting, his skull splitting from where these horns are growing out the side of his head. And in the final remnants of it, you suddenly see his back begin to sort of bulge briefly, and then suddenly the armor plates of his back are shot off, and these two appendages begin to sort of grow eerily out with this bile blood all over them, and they extend into wings. The wings give a brief flap, and he gives a screech, and with these evil, piercing yellow eyes, he unleashes a sword and says, "Tiamat sends her regards." And he will use in his surprise attack Hellish Rebuke. Could everyone make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Can I just ask, if we've seen this happening, would that be a surprise attack on us?
No. Yes, it is everyone within 30 feet. Yeah, that is a very, very good point. Actually, before you do that, does anyone want to do anything?
Well, I was going to be saying, if this is happening really slowly, I'm still standing over him.
This is happening pretty quick. This is all happening in the space of about 3 to 4 seconds.
Okay, so I've sort of noticed it and then it's happened.
Yeah.
I can't just stab him while he's doing it.
You could stab him as he's getting up. You could now.
I'm totally going to take a shot.
Actually, in which case we'll probably just roll initiative. Easier
I'm not arguing
to
that
do.
You can't do that, but I will argue that you can't do that with Hellish Rebuke.
What do you mean?
Because Hellish Rebuke is a reaction when someone damages you.
He's not doing it with Hellish. Oh no, it's not Hellish Rebuke. Not Hellish Rebuke. It is. Oh, what the fuck have I written down this? It is a thing.
6. Fuck.
Dreadful Aspect.
That's
That's what it is.
That is why, because Neo's got Hellish Rebuke, so I use that frequently on him.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
Alright, let's fucking go.
So, do you want
That was a nice roll, Gylndan, but do I get advantage as I'm over the top of him? Not advantage, first.
bonus attack?
Yeah, that. Got it out.
I'd say if all this is going on and you want to make an attack roll, you are currently the only one within range of him to make an attack roll. So yeah, you can make an attack roll first as a sort of like a surprise attack.
Are we doing that save still? Or
you will do on his turn, which, trust me, is coming up.
spoilers, he'll be dead by then.
Watch this. Watch him go down in one hit.
He's not going to go down in one hit, I promise.
It's not, I didn't mean longbow. I didn't mean longbow. Sorry, I meant dual sword.
Oh, funny that.
Hold on, I'm still doing initiative. So then it's Oramis.
I literally did not mean to click that. I didn't even see
He said I didn't mean longbow before the roll came up, so...
I was
Yeah,
busy making notes.
I'll give it to you. All right, roll damage. 8.
I haven't done Hunter's Mark because I forgot, but I do have a second roll, so I'll just roll again.
8. He is now classed the Fiend, so that's halved because the sword isn't magical.
Because I clearly didn't know that.
And Battle Mat.
But I'm disappointed you haven't put tokens for all of Oramis' crew.
Yeah, I was going to.
I'm joking. They're all below deck with Chikara.
I was probably going to say for the point of this, they're probably a little. This is way out of their league.
Didn't we agree that
way
didn't we agree generally that they wouldn't help in combat anyway?
Yeah, they probably leave it to you. I've been thinking of a system in which they might be able to help, but we'll leave that for now.
Okay, cool.
Does that second hit?
Second one doesn't hit.
Doesn't. Oh, boo.
What?
Then,
Like I said, he's wearing heavy plate. Like I said, he's wearing heavy plate armor.
Oh my lord. Wow.
So that first one was 8. 4. 1.
So, Matt, not only will you struggle to hit him, but if you do hit him, it's half damage.
right. Is there anything that wouldn't be half damage? Any way of hitting them that wouldn't be half damage?
So fiends are your favorite thing. So you would know that any magical weapons or silvered weapons would be able to.
I've got silver short swords.
Yeah, didn't
You
we
do
all
have silver short swords, or
Most
silver
invested in
silver
silver
short
stuff.
sword.
Oh yeah, it's singular. Right.
Who needs silver stuff?
us on several occasions as we've proved now?
Nah, mate.
So-
like, Apollo got me covered.
So, yeah, so this guy sort of like appears, Tiamat sends his regard, and as he says that, Mazzy just comes in with this first sort of slash straight across his chest, chunk, sends him sort of like back sort of down to the ground. He wasn't really, he was like maybe like half a foot above the ground, sort of hovering in the air, but then he's knocked back down to the ground. And then your second hit, he sees coming in very, very elegantly with this huge greatsword, something that, you know, it looks like he should not be able to lift, but he clearly does. Sort of almost bats your blade away. And now that we're going into initiative, now can everybody make a wisdom saving throw? As he rolled a 21 on initiative.
It's a good damn good roll.
7 to wisdom save. Let's go, baby. There it is.
And Gylndan.
Saving throw. That'll do.
Oh my lord! All right, so it is only Mazzy.
That's it.
So as you're all sort of looking at this guy, you can suddenly just see his eyes begin to glow, and this sort of black necrotic sort of cloud just emanates all throughout the ship. You all sort of feel something wash over you, something dark and horrifying in your minds. And Mazzy, this takes effect on you. You are now frightened by him for the next minute.
Scared.
For the next minute, or until for the next minute, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks if he is in line of sight, not just against him, but on anything. If he is within line of sight, you can make a save on your turn against the roll if you're 30 feet away from him, or if he's not within line of sight.
Bit difficult to get 30 feet away from him on a boat.
Tis. So get out of line of sight, basically.
Just keep swimming.
Some would say that was
then-
good strategy from him.
Yeah.
Some might say that as
To
well.
be fair, he's neutralised the biggest DPS threat we've got.
He has. And at which point he will move. Seeing a lot of you, I think probably around Mazzy. Just there. Just he's got you all in his view now.
Now I can run away in the other direction.
That will end his turn, I believe. That was his action. He doesn't have any bonus actions. Sweet. Yep, that'll end his turn. Next up is Gylndan.
Ooh. We're going to give this guy a bit of a phantasmal killer. They're not fireball.
Don't think Oramis will be happy with that.
I've had this mod for 5.
He's got some scrap, he can fix it. Yeah, we'll Phantasmal Killer this guy.
What does he? What save does he
Wisdom
need?
saving throw from him.
What are the effects of Phantasmal Killer?
So
Actually, just put it in the chat. I'll raid through it. Oh shit, that's a lot of words. Nightmares the creature you can see, illusory manifestation of his deepest fears, visible to only that creature's target, must make a wisdom saving throw on the save. Target becomes frightened for the duration. At the end of each of the target's turns before the spell ends, target must succeed in a wisdom saving throw and take 4d10 psychic damage on the successive spell ends. Cool. Alright. What's your spell save DC?
What does he roll?
14?
15 is my spell save DC.
He fails. He is afflicted with the Phantasmal Killer.
I was really debating what to put my stat upgrades into, and that makes me very happy that I put it into.
Yeah.
I still don't know whether I made the right choice with mine. I put in my fighting abilities rather than my spellcasting.
Well, we'll find out
We shall
shortly.
see.
So he's now frightened of me.
He is, yeah. You sort of see this sort of cloud of sort of ethereal arcane just sort of splash sort of around and in his eyes as he looks up at Gylndan. He almost like takes a step back, trying to keep his cool, but like taking a step back and looking at something in the distance. You guys can't quite see what it is, but he's keeps his eye on something, readying his guard against it.
I've got my little concentration symbol out. Would this up by the wheel, is that sort of half cover, would you say?
That is half cover, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to get behind here, so I've still got line of sight on him, but I'm behind half cover.
Cool. Next up, Mazzarious.
Got this shit on out. Disengage.
Disengage.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is as far as I can go.
You are
That was
still
very
within his
easy.
line of sight, so making the save, you can't make the save at the end of your turn.
No, that's why I haven't, yeah. Would that half cover be out of sight?
I would say if you said that you went the equivalent of prone behind it, then yeah.
Yeah, fair.
If you go prone and he catches you while you're prone, though, that's trouble.
That is
I
slight
just
trouble.
get on my knees and start praying.
Is that everything, Mazzy?
Yes.
Awesome. Oramis.
First of all, I'm going to take a step 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Actually, no, 30. I'm going to use bonus action to cast Hex.
Hex on him, yeah.
There we go. No,
That's a
is that coming through?
concentration
yeah.
spell on you.
Yep.
Yeah, so Hex, if you want to add the little clock on you, cursing the creature until the spell ends. You deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack. Also choose one ability when you cast a spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks with that chosen ability. What ability would you like to put that on?
Wisdom?
Wisdom?
Guys?
Yeah.
Charisma. Yeah, charisma. Charisma. And then I'm going to follow up with some Eldritch Blast.
Alright. 20 hits. Roll damage.
5.
5.
D6.
Oh, that 5 should actually be a 9.
Oh, because it's my
of your
charisma modifier. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll add that on for you now. Where's Eldritch Blast? Attack, charisma plus 1d10 plus charisma. Oh yes, that should be what was that? It was 9 damage.
Is that with the +3? Yeah.
Plus 4. You have a plus 4 on charisma.
No, +3 for the necrotic damage.
Oh, plus 3 for the necrotic damage. Yeah. Yep.
And then another Eldritch Blast.
And another one.
Oh,
The second one rockets off behind you, unfortunately.
Okay. That's me done.
Cool. Doc.
Alright, I'm just going to move myself so I can see him around the mast, and I am going to attempt to banish him.
You're going to attempt to banish him.
That's a charisma saving throw, DC 15.
Charisma saving throw, DC 15. 17. You're not going to like me. He rolled a 10, but he has +6 in charisma saves.
What? No.
Because he's a paladin.
Oh, he's not a paladin, he's a dick.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
And that's with disadvantage. You rolled 17 for the first one.
that's a joke.
I'm
That's
very
a
sorry.
joke.
I had completely forgotten about banishment, and I was thinking, oh shit, this guy's become a lot less scary.
So even with disadvantage, oh, man.
That's a big modifier to have.
That is a big one for that. Alright, cool. Next.
Please next, please.
Next is him. Which one of you... Luke, you damaged him more. 5, 10, 15. So, he moves up towards you, and you can now see thunder begin to, like, clouds begin to sort of roll over the sea. It seems like it wasn't the calm night that you expected. Rain slowly pours, and you can see him sort of casting it. Yes.
I don't want to be that guy, but he can't move closer to the source of his fear, and he's technically moving closer to me there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. It's part of frightened.
Oh, okay.
It depends how you want to rule it. Like you might say he's not going towards me, and I'm okay with that. But
I'm not.
No. Rules as written, he can't move towards you. So actually, in that sense, no, he's not going to move. Probably looking at you and looking at Oramis and thinking like, oh, I want to move there, but I physically can't. Okay. He's going to cast then. Would Dispel Magic dispel this?
what, a phantasmal killer?
Yeah.
I don't think so, because I thought Dispel Magic was something along the lines of like what JJ did.
I can't remember what the wording is Dispel Magic is.
I'll give it a read.
Creature.
Yeah, so choose any creature, object, or magical effect within range. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends. But that is a 4th level spell. For each spell of or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. On a successful check, the spell ends. So he can do it, but he needs to make a check to do it.
Yes.
DC 14. Alright. So he's going to try and cast Dispel Magic on himself. He rolled a 2. That is a spell slot of his gone. Nothing appears to happen. He's sort of trying to sort of like, you can see him like sort of place his greatsword in one hand, trying to slam, almost like slam down with this energy in his hand, but nothing is happening. The wind now once again picking up. You can see the crew sort of very, very tentatively trying to prepare to sort of like, you know, bring down the sails, like completely furl up the sails, just that the ship isn't blown like completely off course during the fight. I think that's all he can do actually. He can make the save though at the end of.
Yeah, wisdom saving throw.
Is it at the end of his turn or at the start?
Yeah, the end of it.
The end of his turn. All right. What was it? Wisdom.
Yeah.
Doesn't even fucking matter. He rolled a 19. He's fine.
One away from the damage. That's a joke. Spell ends.
It is a long haul, that spell. You sort of have to plan ahead.
When I read the description for what to pick up, it was like this either sucks or it saves. And it sort of sucked.
Slightly. Gylndan, your turn once again.
Divination rolls. I think we just need to sink some damage into this guy. So I'm going to. What am I going to do? I'm just going to hit him with a level 2 magic missile. So that's 4 magic missiles.
Yep. Roll the damage.
So gas for him to use shield.
That's 7, 11, 14. Alright. Yeah, these sort of magic missiles reflecting off the pools of water that are now gathering on the ship slam sort of each into his body. He stumbles a little bit, but still sort of holding fast with his greatsword. Is that everything?
Yeah.
Next up is Mazzy. You are frightened of him. You cannot move towards him.
I can't move towards him. I realised this mast. I would have had cover behind that, wouldn't I?
You would, yeah. That is full cover.
I didn't even realise it was a mast. Brain, we're on a boat, aren't we? So theoretically, can I move to here?
You can move to here.
Yeah, okay, I'll move there. I'll move there to be able to
make me a wisdom saving throw. Yeah.
Oh boy. Right. Can I still make it? I can't get to him. But...
Technically, you have to make that at the end of your turn.
Okay.
So I didn't really explain that, so I'll allow you to do an action if you wish. So I should have. Not with disadvantage, because you would have done this before the frightened effect goes away.
I can move to there.
You can't because you're still frightened technically.
Oh well, then that's up.
Because the frightened effect ends at the end of your turn.
Then I'm going to go just across the boat because why not? Hunters mark him. And fire the shit at him.
Fire the shit. Is with disadvantage. 18 does hit. Roll the damage.
He's standing in my square.
Plus.
No.
Wait, what? No.
Mazzy's in my square.
No.
Mazzy is not in your
Where
square.
are you? Nowhere near you.
Are you?
I'm literally nowhere near you.
Look, are you here while I'm pinging?
Yeah.
Oh, there, yeah. Alright,
Yeah.
Mazzy's on the stairs.
Oh, no way. I'm sending you guys a picture of what I'm seeing. Because...
It's not
Well, in
real.
the meantime, I'm going to do the same again, Ben.
Alright. Roll the hit.
Oh.
Disadvantage doesn't hit.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, that's
First
weird.
arrow thunk between two things. Second arrow, you would need to move
Getting a bit
back
close
over
there,
here. You'd need to move back over here to make the save again.
I've saved it.
I fucked up. You need to make the save at the end of your turn, not at the beginning of your turn.
Oh, so you're taking it away from your strip.
10, 15, 20. You could still move 25, 30 back to here, and I will allow you to make to do the 19 wisdom save there. So you would end your turn there.
Okay, so I
going
just
out
finish it there.
Yeah, going out unfrightened. Oramis.
You know what's happening? Eldritch Blast.
Another that one.
Oramis needs to find
That's
his
a joke.
jokes fast.
Another Eldritch
I'm a bit
Blast.
seasick.
There we go.
Roll the damage, sir.
That was very good.
And those are not bad rolls. 13 plus 4, that's 17
And
damage.
then the D6 for the necrotic damage.
Yep.
3.
17 says 14,
17.
51
16.
plus. Nice, awesome, yeah. Blast these shots. The first one obviously going quite awry, sort of into the water. But the second one hit him quite particularly bad, sort of across the side of the face. Like you can see this crack appear on his horn. Like, is that everything?
Yes, for this turn it is.
Cool. Doc.
I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith.
Guardian of Faith. Where are you going to put your Guardian of Faith?
I'm going to put it just in front of him, right here.
Just in front of him right there? Do you want to draw a circle as to sort of the area of effect? That's the one where if he moves, he gets damaged, right?
Correct. What is it?
But he does get to make a save to half it.
It's a dex save, yes.
Dex save to half it.
Sorry, I just need to remember what 10 feet off the Guardian, so it is. So I think that is its like area of effect. If I put it there.
Yeah. All right.
So it is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Anything else on your turn?
It's in like that square there. Yeah, I'm gonna move up to here. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
Cool. So yeah, so on Doc's turn, obviously, cast Guardian of Faith. This sort of spectral, radiant light bursts forth of this sort of like sword and shield that you guys are rather familiar with. Sort of like almost like going through some of the mast and some of the rigging and things like that. But you know, it is somewhat there for the purposes of attacking. It is now his turn.
Is that the start of the turn order?
That is now the start of the turn order. Yeah.
Are you alright if we call it there because it is 1:30?
Actually, yeah, that's probably a good point. Yeah, yeah, we can call it there at 1:30, and we will finish off this fight in the next session.
Gucci.
Fair enough.
Gucci.